Hi, my name is Sue. During my cancer recovery program, we were asked to give a presentation of our choice. On seeing the impact that my presentation made on the rest of the group, I slowly realized just how important this message is to anyone who has suffered from a traumatic disease. And I'm happy and proud that I managed to put this together and to share with you. And this is my presentation. What is the most powerful medicine known to mankind? By the way, this is a photo of my buffet at the oncology ward. It is a photo of an actual servant of the chemotherapy drug doxorubicin, otherwise known as andromycin, one of the most powerful drugs ever invented to fight against breast cancer, otherwise known as the Red Devil. So, what do you think is the most powerful medicine in the world? Food. It is the very fuel we put in our bodies every day. Food is either medicine or poison. It's as simple as that. And as a mother, it's not only the food I eat, but also the food I cook and feed my loved ones, my spouse, my growing and developing children. And as a cancer survivor, every meal is an opportunity to heal. Food can be as powerful as natural chemotherapy. If you eat 3 meals a day, that could be natural chemotherapy 3 times a day. Staying healthy, in shape, mentally and physically. But today, there's a lot of confusion, a lot of choices, a lot of diets, keto, paleo, Mediterranean, blue, low carb, high carb, raw, vegan, vegetarian, Atkins, so many detoxes, so many diets. Which one to follow? How do we know that every bite is this going to be medicine or poison? My personal answer is to follow the data, the large surveys and conclusive research. Learn to separate the myths and the rumors from the real facts. We have the internet, it's free. We have all the information at our fingertips. I have a confession that I'm still mad at myself that I acted without checking. I was told by a good friend, a family member was also suffering from cancer, not to eat tofu, to stop eating tofu, which I immediately did. And only later did I check the information. Nothing could be further from the truth. Here is a slide that shows that plant-based estrogen is nothing like human estrogen. In fact, a survey in Shanghai covering more than 5,000 women were monitored over 5 years. They found that a 27% decrease of recurrence in breast cancer was discovered among women who consumed milk, soya milk. How much do they consume? Just 1 glass a day. Makes all the difference. So with the free internet, it's worth it to seek out truthful information and separate it from the rumors and the myths. And now I can go back to eating tofu. I deliberately lifted a slide from Dr. Lee's TED Talk, Eating to Beat Disease. I highly recommend you all to watch it on YouTube. Anyone who's gone through a traumatic disease or illness should listen to Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee shows some of the many cancer-fighting produce. Notice, this is the absolute beauty of nature. Nature has it down to even specifics targeting particular cancers. Again, food can be as powerful as natural chemotherapy. Science has proven that nature has given us clues of what to eat in order to heal ourselves. We just have to look for the signs. I am so happy to break a well-known myth. Chocolate, dark chocolate. Not only are we allowed to eat it, but we're encouraged. A study of 20,000 people showed eating 7.5 grams of chocolate per day lowered the risk of not just cancer, but heart attack and stroke by 39%. 39%, that's a lot. And what is 7.5 grams? Just 3 chips. 3 chips of dark chocolate. Another study, follow the data. When we are informed and when things make sense, we make better decisions. A human study by Harvard of 79,000 men over a period of 20 years, ate tomatoes containing lycopene, and they discovered that a 40 to 50% reduced risk for developing prostate cancer. That is huge. And the tomatoes, if they were cooked for just 2 minutes, increases the body's absorption of lycopene by 50%. Cook another 30 minutes of heating and it jumps to 250%. Isn't it worth cooking tomatoes? Just to note that up to 35% of cancer is caused by the environment and less than 5% is hereditary. Fear of recurrence can negatively affect quality of life. And approximately 7% of patients develop severe and disabling fear that can drastically affect normal daily life. I think this is a good time to talk about intermittent fasting. It's not about not eating. It's about eating again. When we don't eat for a period of time and then reintroduce food to our bodies, we are effectively rebooting ourselves. Like a finely tuned computer, our bodies gets rid of the old stem cells and starts making new stem cells. Just like a starfish regenerates, we also regenerate via stem cells. When we are injured, our body makes more stem cells. As we grow older, age impairs our development of making new stem cells. Diabetes impairs growing stem cells too. What can help stem cell activity? Exercising regularly and reducing your sugar consumption. And omega-3 has a vital part to your cells' membranes. So for me, after going through horrendous chemotherapy treatment, it made sense to continue this awareness and include foods that target cancer stem cells in order to prevent recurrence. And that is exactly why I do intermittent fasting regularly. The more I do it, the easier it becomes till it becomes a habit and a lifestyle, a healthy, proactive lifestyle. So much so that I have found fasting 36 hours is my ideal. For now, with very surprising results. It has allowed me to realize how often I eat, not because I'm hungry, but because I'm stressed. It's that time of day, it's lunchtime, it's dinner time, or I eat just because I haven't eaten. In short, not because I'm hungry. And fasting has made me more acutely aware of my eating habits, when I eat, why I eat, what I eat. With intermittent fasting, it has made it easier for me to ask with every bite, is this medicine or is this poison? Because I think I'm acutely more aware and more mindful of what I'm putting in my body when I do start eating again. And that alone is precious. I'm constantly learning about my body and myself. Since I started, my weight has stabilized. My body is much more toned, less flabby, and better shape. Furthermore, when I haven't eaten for a while and I'm not hungry, I do focus so much better. I thought it's just a myth, but no, I concentrate better, get things done faster and more efficiently. I know after I've eaten, my pace across the board is much slower, more sluggish. My pace is definitely different after I've eaten. What you eat affects your weight and energy throughout the day. Knowing this about myself has helped me schedule my day, my habits, my life, and my work. That's why intermittent fasting is a win-win. Besides encouraging new stem cells to grow, fighting against cancer, fighting against recurrence, or any other disease. If you want to do intermittent fasting, I suggest to start slow. Start with short fasting. Don't even call it fasting. I tell myself not to eat before 12 o'clock. If I need something, I'll drink. Some days it's just 10 hours or 12 hours or 14 hours. On occasion, it can be 16 hours. It's not a competition. Listen to your body. Do what feels right. When we have the knowledge, we make better decisions. And it makes it so much easier to do and continue doing it when we have the why. Foods that beneficially affect the microbiome. I want to talk a little bit about the gut. I don't have a gut picture. The gut is so important. It's also called the second brain. 70 to 80% of the immune system is located in the gut, where a mix of both bad and good bacteria is the best. A diverse ecosystem. Another vital fact, the majority of your body's serotonin is in your gut. Serotonin plays a key role to your body, your sleep, your digestion, your bone health. I've been prescribed anastrozole for the next 10 years. Anastrozole is known to cause bone problems. In general, serotonin is a key player in your whole body's healing. And this slide shows a few examples of how to build your gut microbiome. I'm not going to go down the list, but I do just want to highlight a few surprises here, such as kiwi. Eating kiwi, just 2 kiwis, results in a 35% more, and I hope I say this right, lactobacillus in 24 hours, known to help prevent and treat cancer, regulate immunity, and improve gastrointestinal diseases. It is this lactobacillus that is important in the manufacture of fermented vegetables, pickles, and sauerkraut, the amazing natural probiotic we all know and have heard about. The last thing I want to say about this slide is walnuts. The walnut is, in my opinion, the king. It has so much omega-3 and is a super source of so many benefits. Not for nothing, it's considered good for the brain. But don't take my word of it, check it out. Kombucha, it's kombucha time. This is a kombucha that I make at home, one of my many bottles. Talking about natural probiotics, I drink kombucha every day. 1 glass is enough. Homemade is so much better and tastier than any store-bought, and a lot cheaper. This drink has totally flipped my taste buds for the better. I used to have a very sweet tooth. I would have 3 teaspoons of sugar in my tea. So now I happily drink tea and coffee without any sugar. I don't miss it. And that, I truly believe, that is a direct effect from drinking kombucha. And now I drink kombucha that is almost vinegar, and I like it. I have it a huge glass of ice. I pour my homemade kombucha. This kombucha in particular that you see in the video is with ginger and rose petals. I have ginger and rose petals as a regular, as a default. Ginger is in all my kombuchas. And if I do sometimes need some sort of sweetness, which I do, I'll drizzle some quality maple syrup or some good quality honey or date syrup. And over time, I found that naturally it becomes a rare necessity. I hope this presentation has shown you how science has proven how nature provides us with the best medicine we need to heal, restore, and build not just our bodies, but also our minds and our spirits, a quality of life at a sustainable and realistic pace and budget. This is a bonus slide and a topic that I love to talk about. This is a topic that's worth talking about on its own. It's a peek into TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, what I cook at home and what I teach in my workshops, online and at various culinary schools. The ingredients here are not unusual. They're probably unusual to the Western eye, but they're very common in the Chinese kitchen. I grew up with these medicines I call these medicines ingredients. Know that Chinese cooking and Chinese medicine are one of the same thing. All the ingredients here are easily available in Chinatown. Medicinal ingredients such as wood ears, jujubes, yuba, which is dried tofu skin, and an array of medicinal dried mushrooms, not just shiitake, which, by the way, I prefer dried shiitake because it has a much more pungent and flavorful aroma than the fresh shiitake. There's also here on the right, you see the snow fungus, a white mushroom, and then next to it you see the wood ears, and below that the cloud ears. And that's not all of the mushrooms. There's namaki, there's maitake, which is very well known, and I know a lot of cancer patients were using that in drops. I used it myself, and a lot of these mushrooms I make into a powder and I use as spice. I don't use any more bottled sauces because it has an array of chemicals that I don't know what. I have a vegan son, and he has taught me to look at the list of ingredients behind any packaging. And when I do, I'm always shocked at how much sugar, how much chemical stabilizers, anything but the actual natural ingredient. So unfortunately, I found this out and stopped buying these sauces, ready-made sauces. So convenient, I totally agree. But fortunately, that caused me to make my own spice combos. And this is where I started to put in the medicinal mushrooms. And as I say, these are all common ingredients and accessible in any Chinatown in the world. I've been cooking Chinese food all my life, growing up in my parents' Chinese restaurant, surrounded with fresh produce and helping in the restaurant prepping from scratch. After being diagnosed with breast cancer and getting through chemotherapy, I have an even greater admiration for Chinese Asian cuisine. And now teaching Chinese cooking has taught me to appreciate the reasons why my mother and my grandmother and father cooked and fed us kids the food that they did. I never questioned. But I remember my mother, she would make all sorts of broths at certain times of the year, particularly between seasons, the transition time. It is all about eating in season. Produce is at its peak nutritional value and at its most delicious when it's ripe. And on top of all that, it is at its cheapest price because it's the most abundant in the market, right? So it just all makes so much sense. So my message of this presentation is self-education. Knowledge is empowerment. Between what the doctor can do for us and what we can do for ourselves is huge. Do the homework, do the research, be your own advocate and co-drivers in your health. The bottom line, we make better decisions when we are aware of science-proven facts. It not only becomes clear what we should do and eat, but it encourages a desire and urges us to continue doing it. Disclaimer, I am not part of any medical profession. This presentation is not advising doing this instead of conventional medicine. I remind that I went through chemotherapy and surgery, and I'm very thankful that I live in a place and time where this medicine was accessible to me. After the treatment, I continued on this path and I'm sharing my discoveries along the way. If you like this presentation, please follow me in Instagram, Too Tired to Cook. I'd love to see you. I update on YouTube and my Facebook new and upcoming workshops that are online and sometimes physically too, if you are in Israel. So I wish everybody good luck. I hope this has been helpful, and life is constantly changing. The journey is ongoing. Make it a good one. Make it a worthwhile one. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that we'll be able to cook together sometime.